Welcome to the Mindfulness broadcast. It's getting warmer here and I'm getting to come back outside, which is always my favorite place to be. The sun is directly behind me, so I'm trying not to move so that I don't blind you all. I also had this moment this week that actually spurred what I wanted to bring to the Mindfulness broadcast today, and it is this. I was in a therapy session with my son, who is in fifth grade, and I was preparing. We'd had a hard couple of days, and I was so prepared to let the therapist know all of the growth areas that my son needed to focus on in their session. So I come in, I kind of set up the scene, and then I leave and let them do the work. And so I was prepped. I was ready. I was like, let me just, name off the 5 to 10 areas that you two need to kind of fix in the next hour, right? And so we came in, we said hello, and I, started sharing my list. And he said, you know what, let me just pause for one moment. Sounds like there's some areas where, some wrong choices were made. But my guess is that and he shifted the energy to my son. You've probably made a lot of right choices this week. You've probably done a lot of things really well. And let's just start with that. And he said, he invited my son to share. What are a couple of things? What are 2 to 3 things that you did well this week that you feel like, hey, Mom, I want you to hear this. And maybe you didn't know this about me, but these are some choices I made that I can be proud of. And a couple things happened in that. One is that my son couldn't name it, which was a heavy hitting moment, that I was really helping my son see his faults, right? We could name those. I bet he could have listed those. Those are the things that I've been bringing to attention and things that I've been putting in the light. And so that was just this profound moment for me. And then I wanted to jump in and save. So what I did as the mom was to quickly start reviewing the week with my son through the lens of actively looking for what he had done right. And so I started naming them off, but realizing that was a shift, right? I had been looking through this lens of all of the things he was doing wrong, and I was finding those. And the more that I looked for that, the more evidence of that I would find. And on the opposite side of that same coin, when I actively looked for all of the things he had done well, I was getting better and better at finding that as well. And then I was offering it up to, oh, remember when you did this, remember. And so I left there humbled and used the rest of that was just earlier yesterday. And so I've used the last 24 hours to really look at everything. It was an eye-opening moment for me, trying to first remember that my brain has a negativity bias, and if I let it, it will run rampant with looking for all of the ways that people do things wrong, I do things wrong, the world does things wrong, and that I will grow that ability. And is that really aligning me with what I want and how I want to spend this precious time I have on earth, and the relationships that I have and the work that I do and all these ways I show up? And so anyway, that's what we're doing today, is we're going to review our lives through that lens of what's well, what's right, what's good, what tastes good, what feels good, what is great about this meeting we're having, this place that I'm working, this world that I'm working in, this country that I'm living in, the way that I spend my time. What's good about that? And if there's any part of you that goes, yeah, but there's all of this other stuff about the place that I work and the country I live in and the people I spend my time with, seeing the positive doesn't make the challenging part go away. It doesn't mean we have to ignore it. It doesn't mean it isn't there. It just means we are reminding ourselves that this other stuff exists too. And so we're really coming into it a bit more balanced, I think. And certainly more resiliency, because the more I focus on the hard stuff, the more stressed out I get and the more reactive I become. And so it's just reminding myself of that beautiful balance, and how when I focus myself over on also what is good, I'm building a more resilient brain to work with the things that aren't so good. So I'm setting myself up for more success. So let's do that this morning in our practice. This has been, this is a place I revisit often. It's a daily practice that it's easy to get away from. So let's do it. And close our eyes. We can also just downshift our gaze, keep our eyes open. What we're doing is just using this practice of either limiting our vision or not taking in everything around us, just to turn ourselves inward and to the present moment, to what is happening right now. And before we go into our breath, just allow your senses to kind of swirl around you, if you will. And you might even open up your eyes for this and look around at the building or the sky, the equipment, the people, the colors. For me, it's birds, sounds, the sights that are all around you. Just noticing purposefully all of those things, and using the lens of gratitude, of what's good. What am I noticing about this that I actually like, or that I can acknowledge, that I can honor? Actively scanning. I'll give you a moment to do that. Listing, identifying, embodying. For me, when I do this, what I notice is this kind of outward layer of just noise becomes more nuanced. I'm outside, so I'm hearing traffic. And then I hear geese. And then as I listen to those geese, I hear songbirds. Now I want you to bring your attention to your physical body. And before we scan it through that lens of gratitude and honoring the good, just first come into this body of yours. Notice the temperature. Notice your breath, movement. Notice areas of ease and comfort. Name those areas of tension or discomfort. Notice the clothes on your body, the feeling of it. And now this beautiful, amazing body of ours that we tend to If you are like most of us, have a lens of quite a bit of criticism, we're going to flip that just for a moment. You can go back to criticizing in a couple of minutes. But for right now, we're just going to give so much gratitude to this body. We're continuing to breathe, the heart for beating, to its ability to age, to take me through so many phases of my life, to represent my expression, to allow me to be close to and embrace those I love, to taste my world, to smell the first daffodil in my yard that just opened yesterday. And there are parts of this beautiful body that they don't work. They don't feel great. They don't look how they used to look. I'm so grateful to be here in this moment with the sun on my back. So grateful for this amazing capillary system I have that brings blood to the tiniest regions and the furthest from my heart. So grateful. And as we begin to close the practice, before we do, let your mind just go through this lens of gratitude through the index of your life. Grateful for my dogs and the honeybees and my best friend and the people in the past and so forth. Let your mind wander. Go look for the good for just a moment. And as we close, I want to send you off with an assignment today to allow this to start every interaction today, if possible, or even just for the next hour. How can you continue to let this lens of good and gratitude make such a positive impact on our ability to be present, to think, to choose, to be more resilient? Can you tell one person today something that they're doing well in your eyes, something that you notice, something you're grateful for? And can you look at the person in the mirror and do the same? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back together. Thank you. I'm grateful to you all. I really am. I love this. I love Friday mornings. Be well, everyone. Take care.